My mom worked 3 jobs growing up. There was almost like, there was never a day she wasn't working. Like a day off was an 8-hour day. And so I think like I felt obligated to work just as hard as she did. And in fact, like in the early days of success at ZoomInfo, I always felt kind of bad about it. I was like, people would be like, man, you work really hard. I'd be like, I worked like 11 hours today. My mom works 16 hours on a normal day on her feet in a hospital. Like, this is not really hard work, yet the outcome on the other side of it, like way outperforms what my mom was doing. That always felt like, unfair, just unfair.
I would always say the same. Like people always say, "Oh, Harry, you're gonna burn out." I'm like, my grandfather shovels gravel on a golf course for $8 an hour at 80. I have an EA
Yep,
bring me a macchiato at my nice desk and a
100%.
cashmere jumper. Like, not
Yep,
really. Do you
yeah,
struggle
yeah.
then with this like entitlement culture and this anti-hustle? Let's have Fridays off every other week. I'm just fucking pissed off about it. I'm like, I'm sorry, no. Like, you want to be great? Work hard.
I do struggle with that. I have forever, by the way. It's just the noise to signal ratio has amped up over the last few years. I really believe that my success is attributed to how hard I worked in the business. And that not just the business, but growing up, like in college, in law school, I always told myself, listen, I'm gonna, I remember walking into law school and I all of a sudden was surrounded by a bunch of people who went to Harvard and Stanford and Berkeley. And I was like, okay, all of them are smarter than me. But I need to outwork all of them. Because if I outwork them, I can outperform them. And I did. Like that worked for me. And then in business, I felt the same way. Like just outwork these people, out hustle these people, and then you will win. And I also think it takes away that's a pretty shitty reason to not succeed. I didn't work as hard as the other people. And I don't want to wake up and go like, oh, I didn't succeed, but geez, if I had just worked a little bit harder, then I could have succeeded in this thing. What a like horrible regret, I feel like. So I'm going to work as hard as I possibly can. I'm going to have like boundaries in place to make sure that I'm also giving to myself and my family. But I will never walk away from an unsuccessful situation and think to myself, like, if I just worked a little harder, the outcome would have been better. I want to take that off the table. But yeah, I think it's a weird new expectation of large rewards without the commensurate effort for those rewards.